Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Jonathan Cohn, and today I have my September 2024 TBR. I am sad to say I did not make it to all the books on my August TBR. I kind of knew this was going to happen, but I had a couple of things happen. One is August was the start of the school year. I started a new position at my school. It was very busy. The second thing that happened is I read a book in August, which you'll see in my August reading review, that killed my reading momentum. And I mean, it stopped it dead in its tracks. I almost for days couldn't read anything because I was so melancholy because I just couldn't enjoy the book. And that never happens to me. And it might happen for a day that I won't be able to read, maybe two. But this was a whole week in the middle of the month that I just stopped reading because I just couldn't. And that never happens to me, and I was very freaked out by it. So I did not reach all my books. So some of the books from August will be read at the beginning of September. So I had to knock some books off September, make it shorter, things like that. So September, I'm going to have a total of 9 books on the TBR. 2 new releases. One of the new releases is super short. And then 7 previously released books. And so most of these are not long. There's one book that pushes 500 pages, but the rest of the books are pretty short. So I'm hoping that I'll be able to catch up on my August reads and finish up and read all my September reads as well. And who knows, if I do much better in September, I might put back on the books that I had to kick off the list for the month. But let's talk about the new releases. One of the new releases is Star Trek Picard: No Man's Land, which is actually a audio original that they're now putting in script formatting. This book originally came out as an audio original that was just a couple hours long back in 2022. It follows Raffi and Seven, which I do not like the story that they wrote for them in this era of Star Trek. But I'm trying to read all the Star Trek new releases, and I was waiting to read this book until it came out in print, and it's going to be a very short read. I think this will take me less than an hour to read because it's only 100 pages in script format. But still, it's a new release book, trade paperback, that I intend to read. It is by Kirsten Beyer, and I forgot the name of the other author. But that book comes out in September, so I'll read that really quickly. Also, the other new release is the new Star Wars novel, Tears of the Nameless by George Mann. We are wrapping up the High Republic series, and this is the penultimate YA book in the series. George Mann, he's written some great High Republic stuff, and he's written some good High Republic. He hasn't written anything bad that I didn't like at all, so I'm excited about this book, and it's featuring characters we haven't seen in quite a while. So I'm really interested in this one. Should be fun. All right, let's talk about the books that are not new releases. These are the books that I have physically on my TBR. So first I'll mention is a John Grisham book, Playing for Pizza. This is a really short Grisham book. It's apparently very different than any of his others. My dad actually, when I bought a bunch of Grisham books recently, he got most excited when I mentioned that I got this one. So I'm really excited. This is the series that I share with my dad, reading anything John Grisham. Whenever I finish it, I immediately call him up. This book's really short. It's less than 300 pages, so I should whip right through it in an afternoon or two, maybe 2 days, and then I'll call my dad and talk about it, which I love doing. All right. I also have the book Monster Hunter Memoirs Fever, which is by Larry Correia and Jason Cordova. And this is a part of their anthology series where they're jumping around to different points in the timeline. And I'm reading through the main Monster Hunter novels, but the main ones are really long, and I was not feeling like adding one of the longer ones on there. And I was sent this by the publisher, and I actually messaged Jason and said, hey, can I read this where I'm at in the series? Or because usually I try to read everything in publication order. Occasionally I'll break my rule. And I asked him about this, and he said, oh yeah, you can read this. As long as you've read the first book in the series, you'll be able to read this. It's very much a standalone. So this book, it's not too long. It's only about 350 pages. Should be a breeze to get through, and I'm really excited to read Monster Hunter Memoirs Fever, which has a great cover. I love that cover. I also plan on reading a self-published book. It's not self-published, it is an indie publisher, I should say. An indie published book by Kevin Steverson titled Salvage Title. This is the first in the whole Salvage Title universe, and I plan to read this in September. And I met Kevin at LibertyCon this year, and I bought the book from him, and he pitched what the series was, and I'm very interested in it. It's a big series with I think it's like 20-ish books now, 25 books, something like that. But most of them are really short. This one's only like 250 pages, and the print's not that small. So I think it'll be a fun. The pitch for this is it's lighthearted and fun, and that's what I'm looking for right now in my reading. So I think this will be a very fun read to read. So that's Salvage Title, the first in that series. I don't have any other books in the series really, so I need to buy them if I enjoy this one. All right, now the only book that I would consider like the longer book this month, which isn't even that long, is Jim Butcher's Deadbeat. I have spent way too long away from the Dresden Files. I really enjoy the Dresden Files. It's just that it keeps getting kicked down the road. I basically have been reading like one a year for the last couple of years. I need to fix that. So Deadbeat is, I want to say it's book like 7-ish, somewhere around there in the series. But I'm going to be reading this month. It's not terribly long. It's about 500 pages. But I enjoy this series, so I'm excited to read another Dresden Files, urban fantasy. All right, now I have a epic fantasy, which is also, I think it's considered epic fantasy, but it's also kind of a self-indie pub book by Z.S. Diamante, and that is Stone and Sky, which has a gorgeous cover. I was sent this by Diamante and his team, and I'm very excited to read it and be able to talk about it. I also have a short story collection that I'm going to be reading really soon for my YouTube Shorts series. And I've heard people like, I think Matt Pittman over at Go Read Books really liked this book series, and so I'm really excited to delve into it. And again, if I enjoy it, I'll buy books 2 and 3, and I will get into those. This one's about 430 pages. It's got a little bit of small print, but it should be a quick breeze through this one. So I'm really excited to read this one. I also have another Star Wars book, a Legends book. Longtime viewers know I try to do about one Legends book a month, trying to wrap up the series. And this month I'm reading True Colors from the Republic Commando series by Karen Travis. This is a series that I started before I even had the YouTube channel. So that was like 4 years ago that I read this series, the first 2 books, and I just never continued on. So this is going to be finally picking up a book to continue on the Republic Commando series. And hopefully I'll enjoy this because I plan to read the others soon as well. So that is that book. This one's 420 pages. Should be a quite quick read for Star Wars. And then I have a middle grade book on the list, which is Fablehaven, Grip of the Shadow Plague, which is book 3 in the Fablehaven series. I read the first 2 books, loved them. Loved the first 2 books. And this series has the whimsy and the fun and the kind of fantasy storytelling that like blends both Harry Potter and Chronicles of Narnia, and it's the perfect blend for me. It works so well. So I'm excited to read this one, which is also not too long. It's only about 450 pages. So I'm very excited for that, and quite large font. So that is my TBR. It's much shorter than normal, and the books on the TBR are also shorter than normal. But I wanted to make sure I completed my August TBR as well, and also I'm able to get through the September. So if I can get all that done, plus the August stuff, then maybe I'll read some more books, but we'll see. But if you've read any of these books, let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below, and let me know what you're interested in me reading and reviewing as well. And until next time, I'm Jonathan, and thank you for watching.